Jai Shri Gurudev. Good evening to one and all present here. Seeking the blessings of His Divine Soul, Jagat Guru, Padma Bhushana, Shri 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 Dr. Balagangadharanatha Mahaswamiji, Founder President, Shri Adi Chunchanagiri Mahasamsthana Math, His Holiness Jagat Guru, Shri 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 Dr. Nirmalanandanatha Mahaswamiji, President, Shri Adi Chunchanagiri Mahasamsthana Math, Revered Shri Shri Dr. Prakash Nath Swamiji, Managing Director, BGS and SJB Group of Institutions. I, Shubha TV, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, with great respect and profound regards, on behalf of the entire fraternity of CSA Department, wholeheartedly welcome you all for the inauguration of the ATAL sponsored 1 week faculty development program on the AI frontier, LLMs, ethics and innovation, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, SJBIT. I now request our head of the department, Dr. Krishna AN, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Good evening to all the dignitaries and the participant. At the outset, I seek the blessings of His Divine Soul Jagat Guru Padma Bhushana, Shri 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 Dr. Balagangadharanatha Mahaswamiji, and His Holiness Shri 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 Dr. Nirmalanandanatha Mahaswamiji, and Shri Shri Dr. Prakash Nath Swamiji, Managing Director, BGS and SGB Group of Institutions. With the blessings of Puja Swamijis and the kind support from our academic director, Dr. Puttraju sir, and the respected principal, Dr. K.V. Mahendra Prashant sir, we, the Department of CSE, have organized this ATAL FDP on the AI frontier, LLMs, ethics, and innovations. I would like to thank the AST for giving us an opportunity to host this faculty development program at SJBAT in the Department of CSE from 15th December to 20th December 2025 in order to empower the faculties with AI and related fields. The large language models are sophisticated deep learning models capable of understanding and generating human-like languages, serving as the reasoning engine for the next wave of AI and applications. The rapid development of AI brings significant ethical concern that require robust frameworks for responsible development and deployment of the tools. The AI frontier is continuously evolving with several key innovations and the trends, including the generative AI, agentic AI, physical AI, hyper customization, and continuous learning LLMs. So for this faculty development program, there is a very good response. Around 160 participants have registered for this faculty development program across India. So it's an honor and a privilege for me to welcome all the participants and the dignitaries on this auspicious occasion. So in this occasion, first I would like to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Mahendra Prashant sir. Dr. Mahendra Prashant sir has about 32 years of experience in the teaching, research, administration, and sir has obtained his Bachelor of Engineering degree from NIA Mysore and ME from UEC and PhD from VTU. And sir has published more than 100 the research articles in international journals, conferences, book chapters, and reports, and delivered many expert talks in various forums. And sir is also a member of many professional bodies, governing council members, and sir is in the board of studies, and is also a reviewer and editor for many journals and books. Sir is also in the advisory committee at the Center of Excellence for Agricultural Drones and Robotics at University of Agricultural Sciences, GKVK, Bangalore. And there are many accolades to his credits, including Outstanding Education Leadership Award 2023, Excellence and Leadership in Education Award 2023 at Golden AMI Awards, and Distinguished Leadership Award for Contribution to Engineering by the Center for Leadership Development. As an organizing chair of the faculty development program, Sir has extended all kinds of support and guidance to the maximum extent. On behalf of the organizing committee, I heartily welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Mahendra Prashant sir, for this faculty development program. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Professor. Jai
Now
Shri
I
Gurudev.
Now I will welcome another the guest for the today's program and also a keynote speaker, Mr. Deepak, for this program. Mr. Deepak is a director of Rubix with 22 years of experience in domains like finance, data science, data analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Mr. Deepak is a self-motivated individual with experience in handling large size teams, striving to create performance driven work environment along with a result oriented approach. He holds a certification for certified data scientist from International Association of Business Analytics. On behalf of the organizing committee, I heartily welcome Mr. Deepak for this faculty development program. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. My warm welcome to all the participants, coordinators, organizing team members, faculties, and the supporting staff. Once again, I welcome one and all present here. I hope all the participants definitely will have the active learning in this faculty development program. Thank you. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. To commence the proceedings, it's my privilege to invite our beloved principal, Dr. K.V. Mahendra Prashant sir, to deliver the presidential address.
Thank you, Madam. Jai Shri Gurudev. And I express my sincere pranams to Puja Mahaswamijis and Revered Shri Shri Dr. Prakashnath Swamiji. Respected resource persons, esteemed coordinators, dear faculty members and participants from across the country, a very warm good evening to all of you. It gives immense pleasure to welcome you to this AICTE Training and Learning Academy sponsored 1 week faculty development program on the AI frontier, LLMs, ethics and innovation. I'm delighted to address you in this online mode, which itself reflects how digital technologies have transformed learning and professional collaboration. SJB Institute of Technology, Bangalore, under the able guidance and blessings of Puja Swamijis, which comes under the umbrella of BGS and SJB group of institutions, has consistently focused on quality technical education, research orientation, and societal relevance. At SJBIT, we strongly believe the faculty empowerment is the foundation of student excellence. Programs such as this FDP align perfectly with our vision of nurturing educators who are future ready, ethically grounded, and innovation driven. The theme AI Frontier, LLMS, Ethics and Innovation is extremely timely and relevant. Ethics in AI, this ethics is no longer optional in AI, it is fundamental. This FTP rightly emphasizes as educators, we must not only use AI tools, but also teach our students how to use them responsibly, ensuring that the technology serves humanity and not the other way around. And when we talk about innovation and academia, innovation in AI is not limited to product development. It extends to AI-driven pedagogy, outcome-based education enhanced by analytics, interdisciplinary research, industry academia collaboration. Concludingly, this FTP will empower faculty members to integrate AI and LLM concept into curricula, identify meaningful research problems, explore ethical AI frameworks, prepare to for the students for emerging roles in AI-driven economy. I sincerely thank on behalf of SJB Institute of Technology, ATAL Academy for sponsoring this speaking and for their continued commitment to faculty capacity building. My appreciation also goes to the organizing team, coordinators, and distinguished resource persons who have come forward to share their expertise. Thank you so much, Mr. Deepak. I request all the participants to active.
ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
So sorry
ಅಂತ
to
ಕೇಳ್ಸ್-
interrupt. It's muted actually.
Oh,
Talking to the principal, sir, right?
Yep,
Yes.
yep, principal.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, sir. I request all the participants to please mute
once again,
from your side.
hello,
Yes, sir.
madam. Was I audible?
So the last bit, your mic was mute, sir.
Otherwise, was I audible?
Yes, yes. From
Yes,
the
sir, yes,
beginning,
sir.
it was audible. Last bit was.
Dr. Krishna?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Last 2 minutes. 1 minute it was muted.
Dr. Deepak?
So you're audible. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and encouraging words. So now I take immense pride in inviting our distinguished guest, today's keynote speaker, Mr. Deepak D, Director, Rubikse, for the keynote address. Over to you,
Thank
sir.
you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. So first of all, for all the respected faculty members, the guests who are there, fellow educators, good evening, everyone. A quick introduction about myself. I'm Deepak. I'm one of the directors of the company where I take care of the project side of things. I work with my team on machine learning, AI, and cybersecurity solutions. I have about 22 years of work experience working in the IT field. I come from that generation when the software development, the outsourcing business grew in India, where India is considered as a IT backbone of the world. Today, I see the shift going towards India becoming the next AI hub. I don't know how many of you have seen the news in the recent past. Companies like Amazon or Meta, which is Facebook, is investing billions of dollars in India, setting up their operations because of there are some travel restrictions which is coming. World cannot stop because of these things, so world moves where the talent is. So we are at a very exciting stage of AI when it comes to the day-to-day how business looks at it. From global organizations to startups to tech giants, everybody is reliant on AI right now, and they're looking at India as the next destination for the AI talent to come through. How a couple of decades ago it was us who provided the IT services related field, right? Today we are in that cusp, and I'm very happy to know that I don't call faculty members as faculty members. I call them as future creators. As future creators, I'm so happy that you're looking at LLM as an option. When it came to me, a couple of my own project members will be taking few sessions during this week. LLM becomes a very fundamental, block when we talk about AI, especially Gen AI, agentic AI. LLM plays a very, very core role in that. And I'm happy that we have 160 people interested in learning this. That should ideally, basically that should get, transferred to the students. And also, I work with a lot of colleges. I directly deliver some of these sessions. I work with students. Somewhere this AI is always treated as a threat to whatever is happening right now. It's not. AI should be looked as a powerful partner. We don't run away from technology. We try to understand the technology and try to master it. That should be our what do you say strategy. And as teachers, you can use AI for better content preparation. You can also personalize learning, because now the students have changed, especially post pandemic. The aspirations have changed. Probably when we started working, our aspiration was survival. It's no longer true for most of us. So their aspirations have changed. AI can help faculty members to create a very diverse classrooms in terms of delivery. It should move from doing repetitive tasks. Teachers should take the use of AI and become the mentors, push them mentors to the students, push them towards critical thinking, create that curiosity, because everybody talks about AI, everybody is confused about AI, which is where a faculty like you play a very important role, where classrooms are no longer about textbooks. It's actually where we are using AI to even teach the students. Additionally, I should also acknowledge that when we teach these things, AI should not be only theoretical. It should not remain in writing notes. It should be that students are applying these AI concepts to real world problems. I think that's what we are trying to address this week with a lot of sessions where we are solving real world problems. I don't have to tell that where all AI is kind of right now plays a prominent role. You think about any industries, from advertising to healthcare to manufacturing, AI is everywhere. So as a community, it's our responsibility to move from learning from textbooks, from exams, to create these experiences. Because end of the day, when students come out, graduate, come to the industry, industry tries to understand what kind of actual knowledge they have, like what kind of real knowledge they have, which is beyond textbook. And as a community, it's our responsibility to empower our students to get that benefit by making them work on real world problems. Like both senior members who mentioned, it's very important that we take care of using AI ethically and responsibly. We as an industry are facing a lot of problem when it comes to the ethical side of AI. We should take care of, we are not bringing biases into our systems, the AI modules. It should be fair. Data privacy has to be taken care of. These things are taken very lightly at this point of time, and we need to, like I told, we need to come as a community, and we need to give that importance that we are socially responsible as well when we are working with AI. Especially, we work with a lot of sensitive data. I work myself for Fortune 50 companies. The kind of data that I look at, it is kind of, if you're not ethical, it becomes very scary, right? So we need to be very clear about what how responsibly we need to use AI. And the faculty members becomes very important in shaping, becoming a role model for your own students, so the next generation uses AI for good. Additionally, today where AI is becoming so fast at this point of time, we are actually educating students for jobs which don't even exist at this point of time. 2 years ago, there were no LLM engineers. I mean, when I'm sure the people who are appearing in their final year exams right now, sitting into coming into their placement year, are actually appearing for roles which was not even existent when they joined their engineering colleges. And similarly, that's what is going to happen in future as well. So we are actually shaping up students for roles which technically don't even exist as we speak. But these are exciting times. People who want to learn are always going to be in demand. This is something I always tell I've been in this 22 years of my working. I've been hiring for 20 years. I can confidently tell that the hiring market, there is always going to be ups and downs. Slowness will be there. Hiring market never stops. Good talent are always welcomed, always looked after. People seek for good talent, and we should come together as a group and make students and get those experiences, so that they can actually use AI for their benefit, not only in terms of learning AI, but actually using AI as a tool which makes their career progress that much faster. And also, we have a responsibility. We are creating the future right now. Like I told, next decade is going to be about AI. Next decade is going to be about India, how India is going to support AI, like how we supported the whatever the revolution happened in late 90s and early 2000. We are going through that phase right now, where we are going to support the next wave of AI, and I'm very excited to see what the next decade brings forth. As Rubik's, we like to work with colleges, we like to work with students. We can always, as a company, all the faculty members, you can always connect with me. My name is Deepak. You can look at me on LinkedIn, Deepak and Rubik's, as a keyword. We can connect over LinkedIn, and we can see how we can benefit student. Not everything that we do involves money. We provide a lot of free internships, project mentoring, where we do not charge anything to students, because we want to enable the future AI champions. That's what we believe in. This can be a one what do you say, place where you get to know our company as well. A couple of my colleagues who work with me on projects that I was mentioning, we work with Fortune 50 companies. They are the people who are actually delivering few of the sessions. They're actually in depth working on LLMs right now. I'm excited to see how you will use their knowledge for your benefit. I would like to thank the organizing committee for giving us this opportunity, especially to me, to be a keynote speaker. I don't think so. I am senior enough or experienced enough as the members who are here who spoke before me. But I humbly thank everyone who considered me worthy of this talk. So I wish you all the very best. I hope the next 1 week you learn a lot about practical applications of what's happening AI, which is beyond textbook. It's about bringing the experiences, and then I hope that gets translated to the students and to the faculty members and students. Rubix as a company will always support anything that benefits the student. So I thank once again everybody on the call for giving me this 10 minutes to speak. Ma'am, that's about from my end. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience and giving us a brief insight about the whole FDP sessions. Thank you so much. So as we come to the end of this inaugural ceremony, I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to all who made this event possible. I now take the privilege to present the vote of thanks. On behalf of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, I extend my sincere thanks to our keynote speaker, Mr. Deepak D, for sparing his valuable time and being a part of this event. Thank you so much, sir. A special thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. KV Mahendra Prashant, sir, and our respected director, Dr. Putraju, sir, for their continuous support and guidance. I also thank our HOD, Dr. Krishna, sir, for his constant support, and all the faculty coordinators who have worked tirelessly to make this event a grand success. Finally, I thank each and every one of you present here for your gracious presence and participation. Thank you, one and all. So now
Thank you
we
so
are
much.
beginning with our first session of our FDP, that is on Introduction to Large Language Models and their Evolution, uh, by Mr. Hemant Kumar A. Today, as a session speaker, we have Mr. Hemant Kumar A. He's a decision science lead at Accenture Strategy and Consulting. He is a data scientist skilled in data analysis, machine learning, and statistical modeling, proficient in Python, SQL, and big data technologies such as Apache Spark and Databricks notebooks, experienced in deploying machine learning models using Azure ML and building APIs with Flask, knowledgeable in RAG-based systems and frameworks like scikit-learn, TensorFlow, and LangChain, proven track record of delivering data-driven insights to drive strategic business decisions, adept at communicating complex technical concepts to non-technical. It's so privileged to have you with us today here, sir, and a very warm welcome to you. You can take over the session, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, all. Uh, so, firstly, I would thank SJBIT College for inviting me for this FDP program. I am happy to be part of this, sessions. I hope I'm audible to everyone. If that is the case, can I expect some confirmations, maybe in the chat, or someone can probably
Sure,
confirm
sir.
me?
You're audible.
Audible. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So the session is on. Let me share my screen just a minute. Large language models. So also please confirm me if my deck is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir, it is visible. Just you
Yeah,
need to maximize the screen.
yeah. So I've done. I've just maximized my screen. Yeah. Okay. Before we get started, again, like I would like to thank all of you for probably SABT management and principal, and then Vindhya Madam for inviting me for this FTP program. So this session will be on evolution of large language models. Evolution of large language models. You must have already gone through a lot of workshops on large language models, retrieval augmented generations, and then agentic based workshops, or maybe seminars and webinars. Right. This is going to be only the introductory session on this. So I come with data science experience since maybe a decade. Like I've been into this field. Started my career as a data science consultant, and then I was also academician before, and I worked on some of the NLP problems, natural language processing problems. I worked with a couple of government organizations. Worked on some of the challenging problems like code mixed scripts. So where you try to bring in the different languages. Now what many of the companies are trying to solve a problem called code mixed scripts or code mixing problems. So finding insights from the text documents, performing some kind of analysis, and then probably I was also into forecasting using some of the classic ML models, and I also did some forecasting using large language models. To maybe in my previous assignment, I also worked on GPT, generative pre-trained models, uh, to perform some forecasting for some of the um, consumer health product-based companies. So with this experience, the things are like booming now. LLM, everybody wants to understand about large language models. So now we have shifted from all the conventional models to large language models. The focus is on building some LLM applications. It could be a simple chat bot, which helps an organization to answer some FAQs, or maybe an agentic based applications which would do some task on a automatically on a autonomous basis. Maybe you can ask an agent to probably book a ticket, or going to any travel websites, or maybe you can ask your agents to maybe an agent which would resolve a technical issue, agent which would probably pay your bills. A lot of things are happening nowadays in the industry. A lot of applications are use cases, what we see right now in the industry. So this session is going to be on how these large language models have evolved, and how we started from linguistics. Linguistics, nothing but what do you say? Uh, the grammars, starting from grammars, understanding the grammars, semantics of the grammars, from understanding the grammars to how we started building some language applications using neural networks, and then deep neural networks, and nowadays which is the attention mechanism, which is a backbone of large language models, right? So a lot of things happened, since maybe 20, 30 years, guys. So just to start with, we have so many things. Like, if you go back to 50, 60 years back, we started with some of the simple models, understanding the patterns in the text, right? So how a word, maybe if I take a sentence, a cat sit on the mat, how the word cat is related to mat. So we try to come up with a kind of dependency kind of parser. If you would like to take an example, which is understanding the grammatical pattern, the semantic meanings of the sentences. Of course, like still nowadays, like we still use the conventional NLP. So anybody who would like to get into this field should definitely know the classic ML part or NLP part, natural language processing, which is very much very important from the perspective of understanding the large language models. So maybe like doing some sentiment analysis on a text piece of text, you have the feedback data, and then you try to perform some opinion mining or feedback analysis. So back in maybe uh, 1990s or maybe early 2000, we started using some a simple grammar based models. So let's say that you have some adjectives. So the girl is so beautiful. You say that this sentence looks very positive. How it is positive? We were taking grammars into considerations. So adjectives, let's say beautiful is an adjective, right? And people started analyzing this grammars in this way. Nouns, what are nouns, pronouns, adjectives. Everything started with linguists. You must be knowing that linguists are the ones who are expert in languages. Then linguists, in conjunction with technologists, they came together. They wanted to build, some kind of language models. Now we started shifting from this, grammar-based model to something called as probabilistic models. As a professor, you must have, as an academician, you must have um, already thought so many algorithms like Navi-based algorithm, Bayes theorem kind of algorithms, or maybe simple logistic regression-based algorithms. So those are all based on the probability, right? You try to pass one input, and what is the probability of getting another um, what as an output, right? So we started coming up with something called as a probabilistic model. So if you take an example, like we have something called as Navi-based algorithm. Navi-based algorithm is one classic example what we had. We used to solve a lot of examples with Navi-based algorithm, which is completely based on Bayes theorem in probability and statistics. Later, as the language, or maybe you can consider the text data or the corpus, what we have right now started increasing like anything, or you refer it as the big data. When we started seeing that huge amount of data, we wanted to build a sophisticated, more complicated kind of language models. So keeping that in mind, many researchers, they came up with the different kinds of model. One such model what we have is like the neural networks, which will understand very complex nature of the data. And nowadays, till today, though it is very computationally very complex, so we still use neural network to solve many problems. Let's say if you have like maybe 50 lakh records, maybe if you consider a simple Excel sheet which doesn't fit in your system, so then it is a simply called as a big data. We use some computational powers, maybe GPUs or TPUs, to process this huge amount of data. So we have the hardware now. Earlier, it was very difficult to procure this kind of very sophisticated hardware. Now we have the hardware. With the hardware, we should also come up with the algorithms. So keeping that in mind, we came up with the neural network, and then after neural network, we started leveraging the neural networks and started uh, coming up with a lot of other neural network based algorithms. Maybe if you have heard about some of the algorithms, could be the recurrent neural network, right? So if I take a simple sentence here, imagine this is a sentence we have right now, right? So neural networks, yeah, NLP relied on and crafted rules and symbolic logic. So there's a sentence over here. You guys have already observed that in the chat GPT, how a text is generated. So the moment you start asking some queries or questions, the chat GPT will start producing some, answers. Basically, it's called as a, generators. It keeps generating the responses. That's what we did with some of the, neural network based algorithms like, recurrent neural networks, uh, which started taking the previous words as input and producing and considering that as a context, producing some upcoming words. If I say like a simple sentence, let's imagine Mahatma Gandhi is the father of, uh, so if I type this sentence, the upcoming words started getting generated, and that is done with the help of all this neural network based algorithms like RNN, or could be the LSTM, long short term memory kind of algorithm, or bilateral LSTMs. All this served as a basis for all of this algorithm, technically speaking, right? So therefore, what happened before? Um, if you want to reiterate the things, we started with rule based systems. Rule based systems are still exist. We started writing codes. If I may ask you a simple sentence, maybe you want to write a review about a movie, a newly launched movie. Um, so this movie is awesome. And nowadays, like if you simply paste this particular sentence in a chat GPT, if you ask chat GPT that whether it is a positive or a negative sentence, it is able to answer. But earlier it was not like that. We used to write simple rules, calculate the weights of the words. Okay, so there are some negative words, there are some positive words, there are some neutral words in the sentences, or maybe you can consider as a corpus. So applying some mathematical logic, we used to say that okay, this whole sentence or corpus, or maybe the feedback is either positive or negative, stuff like that. That was like typical rule-based systems what we had. Till today, like we have couple of algorithms we use, and some of the models we use, which basically apply the rule-based logics only in order to find the insights from the text. So that is what we call as a rule-based systems. Like I said, we started moving from rule-based to the probability model, like statistical models. We have this something called as Naive-Bayes algorithm, like I said before, applying the probability, learning the patterns. From there, like we went on to neural network and RNN, CNN, LSTM, or some of the algorithms what we have seen, right? And you must have read about all these algorithms because these are the algorithms which will serve as a basis to understand the large language models thoroughly. As the complexity of the data increases, and then more and more insights we want to gain from the data, we wanted to come up with even more complicated kind of systems, or maybe it could be complicated mathematical models or algorithms. That's where the concept of the deep neural network came into picture, with the addition of some of the mathematical concepts called as attention mechanisms, right? So if I tell you like what is that attention mechanism, you have maybe 10 words in the sentences. You have a first word and the second word. What is attention? The first word has to pay for the second word. So in terms of maybe a matrix, we started calculating, and then we started calculating something called as attention scores. If I simply say a sentence, Mahatma Gandhi is the father of you know India. So if you say something like this, what is the connection between Mahatma Gandhi and then India and father? So all these connection scores are basically represented using something called as an attention mechanism, right? So that is one of the very important paper that everyone has to read in order to understand in depth of this, algorithms. So what we did is that these algorithms they generally they don't understand. If you consider any machine learning models, they will not understand the text. They don't understand the English words, right? What you should do is that you should generally convert them to numbers. So that's what we did with all of uh, the models we have currently in the industry. Like, a simple neural network started converting all that, words to numbers. Generally, we call it as a vectors in mathematics, sequence of values. Maybe a 1D vector, a 2D vector, a 3D vector, right? We'll have to convert that to a vector format. So then only the computer will be able to understand the text which is converted into the numbers, right? So that's what we did. We developed the neural network, the different versions of neural network, and also researchers have come up with so many different, uh, embedding model. When I say embedding model, it's going to be uh, the models which would convert your text corpus into numbers, right? So if you ask me, like, what are the different embedding models we have, because that is one of the core component of any language models. Many companies, they have released so many embedding models, right? Just to show you some of the examples. Now you can probably see some of the embedding models from Hugging Face, embedding model. Hugging Face is one such company. They have released so many embedding models. If you see here, if you can see my screen, let's say you are building some multilingual conversation AI chatbots. Let's say you want to build a chatbot which knows Kannada, English, Tamil, Telugu, maybe the different languages. So you have the model which is already been developed with this data, and it means that you have the corpus of the different languages which is already converted into vector format, right? Which will serve as a input for your large language model, right? So if you see this website, you can see that Hugging Face has got so many embedding models over here. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, right? So likewise, there are so many companies. Like if you consider the company, OpenAI company, OpenAI embedding model, right? So you can see that even OpenAI has got its own, embedding models. There are so many. This is a model, actual model we have, right? And then if you see maybe an embedding model, you'll get to see a lot of embedding models over here as well. So there should be some embedding models at the bottom as well. Yeah, you can see the embedding models over here. So they're not giving you for free. It's basically there's some pricing over here. Text embedding, three small, three large. Now, what are this one actually? Right. So these are like, corpus or text data, which is already converted into vectors and created this models, which would take a lot of time for us to do from scratch. Right. And this will serve as an input to this, the models what we have. You could see like there are so many vision-based models, maybe audio-based models, or only text-based models. Like currently we have the different models. The GPT 5.1 is the latest one. What we have in the market right now. Same way, you can see there are so many models over here. All these models need some, text data, maybe text data converted as a vector formatted as an input, right? So in this way, there are so many competitors for OpenAI company, like for Hugging Face. Practically speaking, if I'm ask you, like, if I'm just giving you the practical, overview of this, there's so many such companies which would release this kind of models and embeddings, maybe on a monthly or a weekly basis nowadays, which is very, very much in trending nowadays. Anthropic, Anthropic is one such company like, to do some coding and all. So there is one such company like, Anthropic. So Anthropic is, they also release so many you know, embedding models. No, the fundamental difference is that everyone are releasing their own models, basically. Every company are releasing their own models. Like you can ask me, like, um, you said that there is RNN, CNN, LSTM, and now we have the GPT. So GPT generative pre-trained models. So what do you mean by generative pre-trained models? The model is already been trained on enormous amount of data, right? Which was actually released by this OpenAI company. But later on, like they started releasing the different versions. As a competitor for OpenAI, you see that there are so many other companies who have released so many models. But what I'm showing right now is like, GPT-1 in the year 2018, GPT-2, GPT-3. You can see that this is a model. It's a pre-trained model. When I say pre-trained model, they have the computation engines, nothing but the hardware setup with them. And then they have trained this model with the internet data. You can't even imagine, like they have trained this model with entire internet data. And you can see, like, when they released the GPT-1 in the year 2018, so it was only like, 170 million parameters. When we say 170 million parameters nothing but you must have heard about this, the basic, things in neural networks, like you have the weights and biases. So generally mean the weights and biases. So they have, used all this, data to build a GPT version 1 with a parameter size of like 170 million parameters. But you can see they started increasing the complexity of the models, right? And then maybe from millions to billions, you can see 1.5 billion parameter to 175 billion parameter model. So which does a lot of task for you. Now, if you ask me, like OpenAI GPT 5.1 or 5.2, how many billion parameter model? Could be more than 100 billion parameter model, right? All these models are typically based on one thing called as attention mechanism. You should be knowing that. You all must be knowing this by this time, because transformer based model is a deep neural network, and there is one technique called attention mechanism, and this is the one technique which was actually um, invented by Google Deep Brains team, and using the same technique, all these models have been developed. But there are so many companies actually. So there are so many companies. What they do, like if you ask me, so maybe like in a simple neural network, you might have 100 layers. They might increase it to like 500 layers, or they might change the embedding layer, or they might introduce a different activation functions, or they might come up with a different mathematical equation to solve different kind of challenging problem. Uh, so all this is actually a result of research. So all these models are not exactly same, but they're slightly uh, different. Okay, maybe like you can see that if you go to this attention, all you need to know is a paper where it demonstrates how a simple transformer based model works. So a simple transformer based model might have maybe 4 layers of attention layers, maybe it increase to 10 layers, 15 layers, 30 layers, just like that. So it means that you keep changing here and there, tweaking the model and releasing that model to the outside world, and saying that they say that my model basically beats the another company's model. Say, how do they actually check this? As a researcher, maybe we should also get to know. Imagine that Anthropic is a company which would release a model today, and OpenAI is a company which would also release a model tomorrow. They say that we are beating Anthropic with this score, maybe the accuracy score, if I might put in a very simple way. So when I say beating them, it means that they usually check on some benchmark data sets, right? So benchmark data set in the sense, like today we have OpenAI 5.1 model. They claim that our model is the best model in the world currently. So when compared to the other models, so what they do, they usually run all these models on benchmark data sets. So maybe like if you're conducting some research, if you're coming up with some new innovative techniques or ideas, you could also maybe check this, how a LLM, a large language model, is evaluated on what kind of benchmark data set. So they release actually, if you see any company, they release this kind of benchmark data sets. Now you can see like, OpenAI, Human Eval, AI to ARC. There are so many MMLU Pro. All these are actually benchmark, data sets, what you see over there, right? So the point is that, many companies are coming with up with large language models, and they evaluate the large language models over the other language models. They say that, or they claim that our model is the best model over the existing models. So what we should really understand is that, so of course, like we started with simple models, rule based, to simple probability based models, and then now we move to neural network, deep neural, and then we have attention transformers based models, and little bit here and there changing them and calling it as a different variants of GPT model. So, but all of these are completely dependent on one technique called attention, and then attention as actually it's a concept come from the paper. Attention is all you need to know, right? You could see here, the GPT, Chat GPT, if I consider the Chat GPT example, here launched 2022, reaching 100 million users in 2 months, combines LLM with RLHF for safer, more helpful responses. So if you see, there is a concept called RLHF. So generally, when you chat with Chat GPT, the moment you ask or interact with the Chat GPT, what happens, right? It will give you things like this: whether my answer is correct or not. This is a system generated or AI generated. So whatever the inputs you're giving, whatever the chats you're giving, it is again feedback to the models for the training. So you should see here, it's basically, going back to the model in order to train the model again and again, again and again. So that's what you need to understand over here, right? So that's basically what you see over here. So with the evolution of this, of course, like we made conversational AI accessible to millions globally. And also, like Mr. Deepak said in the beginning, that a lot of debates on ethics, governance, and societal impact. Maybe if you remember the concept of hallucination, you ask something, the model would generate something, right? We wanted to tackle this problem. This is one of the challenging problems still now exist in the LLM space. If you start asking the model to answer some complicated questions, it might not answer relevantly. Sometimes it might hallucinate, right? Hallucinate nothing but, to keep it very simple, producing some irrelevant stuff as an output, right? Um, Maybe you ask a model to solve a simple mathematical aptitude problem, it might not actually produce a proper output. So still today, the models are still suffering this problem of hallucination. That's where like a lot of researchers are going on, and a lot of things are happening in this space to tackle this problem. And to go back to the classic um, natural language processing task, if you have read about these kind of examples, as I told you, like we started tackling the simple problems, understanding the simple semantics of the language. So if I'm asking you a very simple sentence like uh, bank and the pack, there are two words now: bank. So let's say State Bank of India is on the river banks of Kaveri. State Bank of India is on the river bank of Kaveri. So what the model might think, as humans we know that there are two words. There is a word called bank, which is a monetary bank. There is another word called river bank. But the model would not get a proper context. Okay. So might not be able to answer properly that, okay, which bank is monetary bank, which you know um, bank is actually the water bank. This is something we call as a word sense disambiguation. We started solving these simple problems in the classic NLP part. If I'm ask you another simple give you another simple example, So let's say that, maybe a simple sentence, say, you smell great. How long did you marinate in perfume? You smell great. How long did you marinate in perfume? So what does it mean? You smell great. Whether this is a sentence you're saying that you're basically um, appreciating a person, or maybe sarcastically taunting a person. So what does it mean basically? So for us, for humans, we know that how long did you marinate in perfume? We know that this is going to be a sarcasm. But for a large language model, or could be a very simple NLP model, could be very difficult to answer because it doesn't understand sarcasm. Now what we are trying to solve is that we have already solved this kind of problems. Okay, you can ask the ChatGPT that which bank is monetary bank, which bank is water bank, or maybe whether it's sarcastic sentence or non-sarcastic sentences. So all these kind of problems we have tackled. Now the current problem is what? The hallucinations, the biases, right? Privacy insecurities. But anyways, a lot of research are happening nowadays. The moment you build any kind of applications, right? Every industry they want to secure the sensitive information, right? Maybe as a researchers, maybe you can also focus on something like how do you protect the personal information, maybe the PHI information. So PHI, the personal health records. Okay. So every industry they usually follow this GDPR. Okay. So depends on the countries, anyways. So the moment you start accessing the customer's data, you'll have to comply with this regularities, right? General Protection Data Protection Acts. Okay. And then if you're accessing any, you know, um, maybe the health related records, you can see that there is something called as HIPAA complaint. You see that nowadays, like most of the applications, what we see, the Gen AI applications, the developers of the Gen AI applications, they usually put this kind of heading that this is HIPAA complaint, we are following the GDPR complaints and all. So it means that they are protecting your personal data. They don't expose your data to the outside world. In fact, like the moment you pass some personal data to the chat GPT, it will also display that okay, this is going to be the personal, seems to be a personal information. So and a simple example is that if you simply paste that secret key in the chat GPT, it will basically say directly that this is a secret key, should not be shared like this, right? So such a way that so many things are coming up with to protect all the personal or maybe the private informations. One such technology what we are using is like the guardrail. Okay, so guardrails are the ones you see guardrail in LLMs. These are the ones which is used currently in the industries, right? There are so many companies who are actually coming up with a lot of frameworks. Okay, so the frameworks are something like this. Frameworks, they protect all your personal informations. The moment you build a chatbot, the moment you build any agentic based applications, you have some frameworks which will basically help us to protect our personal information. So such kind of frameworks are one of the framework is like guardrails. Okay, so you can see there are so many things that can see like how do you protect your financial data or maybe the toxic kind of languages, data leakages, safeguarding the you know sensitive information is all we need to do, and that is done with the guardrails. Maybe you could also check on this. A lot of things are already in place in order to protect all the private informations. Okay, so now coming over here, yeah. So coming over to this, the different, landscape the diverse LLM landscapes over here. You can see that there is one model which is developed by Google, and they call it as a Google Palm models, right? And we see that it's supporting multilingual capabilities and reasoning. So what do you mean by reasoning? Again, like if you ask a very complicated problems to the GPTs, they try to break down that into smaller subsets and try to answer your question. That's basically called as a reasoning part of the model. There are so many applications of this. Customer services, 27/7 intelligent support, the code generation in what we see, right? Customer services nowadays, if you see, like, there are so many companies who are already working on this technologies. Uh, Nowadays, we don't have the IVR. IVRs are being replaced with voice agents. So that is also one of the latest thing what we see right now in the industry. So voice agents, let's say you call to your Vodafone customer care, you press one, you press two, or maybe you call your bank. You don't press one, two, three now. What you are hearing nowadays is that. So the other side, you listen to a human voice. Okay, natural, a human voice. Sometimes we'll also get stuck that whether this is really human or maybe the AI human. So they try to resolve your queries or questions. That's basically the human agents, what we have in place, right? So that's what we need to really understand that. So all these conventional systems are really being replaced with the more modernized kind of systems with the help of LLMs, large language models. So these models, like the Google Palm, is one of the models what we have, one such model we have in place. But of course, like Google has already released so many other models. And you also see that Meta Llama, so large language model by Meta AI, and this is also one of the open source models. Now there are two things over here. Maybe like you are already an AI researcher and you want to get into the space of LLMs. So in that case, whether you're going to opt the open source LLMs or maybe the proprietary models. So there are two things you'll have to see. Like the models what we see by OpenAI are all like the paid models, the proprietary models. But there are some of the models which are open weight models, right? If you ask me, like, if you want to run some of the models freely, maybe there are so many other models actually, right? Llama is one such model. And there is one framework that we extensively use in industry to build these models. Now, Llama is like one of the framework what we see. So they have so many models. Like let's say you have your own GPU systems in your institutions or maybe for your personal use. You can use so many uh, open source models over here. Like you can see the models supported by this Ollama, like you have the Quen 3 models. I'm not going to deep dive into all of these models, but you should really understand that all these models are the transformer based models. Anyways, the next speaker will give you the in-depth insights about this, the large language models, the GPT OSS model, which is only one of the, I guess it's only one model which was released by OpenAI, the open weight model. Right? Probably you can, I mean, this is a freely available model what we have, right? GPT OSS. So there are so many other models what you can see, DeepSeek R1 and then Quen 3 Coder, Gemma 3, some of the models which you can definitely run in your local systems. You can also see like whether it is lightweight model. There's something called as a small language model. Sorry for that. And then LLM, large language models. So many models are being released, which would fit in your systems. You can easily run in your systems. So that could be done, right? There are two things here, like I said, open source and the proprietary models. But anyways, like these models maybe like it's minimum a 2 GB or 3 GB 4 GB models which gets installed in the systems, and you should definitely have a good computational capacity in order to run this kind of models. So that is what you should understand from perspective of the different models. Like one is like proprietary models and the other one is like the open source. Yeah, so keeping that in mind, Google Palm is a not open source as far as I understand. And then we have the Meta Llama. There are some Llamas version which are open source and which are not open source. And Anthropic Claude is not open source, of course. You can create content, you can do a medical research. Maybe, of course, build a, maybe a voice agent. Of course, like as an institution, what happens, right? You keep getting so many calls. There is a receptionist. You can replace your receptionist with a voice agents. So they could be in place of receptionist answering so many queries about maybe the admissions, maybe the college policies, HR policies, right? Need not to maybe reducing that human efforts. Of course, like if things are not answered by the AI voice agents, that could be escalated to human agent. So it means that basically you're trying to automate the stuff over here. Okay, we don't really replace the humans here. Of course, humans are all already in place. Only thing is that the burden on humans are getting reduced. That's what you understand. One such thing, what we had developed for one of the organization, one such chatbot. Let's say it's not going to be a simple FAQ chatbot. So this is actually um, a very advanced chatbot for one of the telecom industry. Just to give you maybe a practical glimpse about it, the Cox is a telecom company in the US, and Cox they wanted to come up with a chatbot wherein they could cut down their cost on IVRs, or maybe the customer uh, calls. Let's say you call a customer care and there's some person sitting over there answering your own questions, right? They want to bring down that cost. So that's why we developed one such chatbots over here. This is not a very simple chatbot. This is called as the Oliver chatbot. And if you could see here, this Oliver chatbot will not only answer your simple queries, but it will also help you to do a lot of stuff. Like let's say this is a telecom company, just like your Airtel or Vodafone. You can pay bills. It will help you to pay bills. If you have any technical issues, it will try to just resolve those technical issues. Maybe some account management, something else other than this, right? It means that this chatbot is stuffed with a lot of features. So maybe like for your students, your students will come up with a lot of things, right? Some AI applications need not be a very simple FAQ kind of applications or RAG-based applications. You could definitely come up with a more sophisticated, more complicated kind of systems. This application is actually combined with the deterministic and generator kind of rules. It is not like only you pass some text, it will generate some text. No, it's not like that. It's going to be like there are some predefined rules. If this question is asked by an user, this is going to be the answer. That is like deterministic in nature, and combined with the generator kind of techniques. Right? So you could combine both. This is basically the hybrid way of building some chatbots, right? And yeah, of course, like many companies, they're introducing their own chatbots to answer to the company related data or maybe the questions, right? So in that way, any organization can also come up with such kind of chatbots. All right. So I'll take a quick short break for about 5 minutes. I'll be back after 5 minutes. So meanwhile, if you have any doubts, anything else, so please feel free to ping in the chat, or maybe you can also unmute yourself and ask me a question. I'll be very happy to answer your questions. I'll take a quick short break for 5 minutes. Hi, all, I'm back. So I'm audible, everyone. Can I expect some confirmation, please? In the chat.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, great. I think we have one question from Mr. Raghavendra M. Shetty, how to choose which model to use for which kind of applications. One example, please. Okay, great. So what kind of problem are you trying to solve? Is it a text-based problem or a vision-based problem, Mr. Raghavendra? We just want to know about it. Maybe you can also unmute yourself and speak.
Text-based. Text-based.
Hello. Am I audible? I think your voice is a little feeble. I'm unable to hear you, sir, if you're speaking. Anyways, I'll just give you an idea over here. See, the thing is like there is no hard and fast rule to say that you'll have to use GPT 4.0 model versus GPT 5 model. So there is no such hard and fast rule as far as I experienced. The only thing is that uh, let's say if you're really concerned about the hardware. Okay, so you have a very minimal hardware. Let's consider with the hardware aspect of your problem. So you have um, very minimal hardware systems, and you want to probably build LLM applications. You have to first search for the small language models. Okay, so you have got so many small language models, like I had shown here, like in the Olama website. You see that there are so many small models with small number of parameters. So you could check that and see, like how does it perform well, and do a comparative analysis. So imagine that you have a sophisticated hardware, and then probably you have capacity to run a very big model. Then you can think about the model which have maybe the billion number of parameters. So that is one thing. And the other thing is, like, if your problem is to solve the multilingual text-based problem, if you want to build maybe a conversational AI chatbots that would understand the multiple languages, could be the different Indian languages. Okay, so in that cases, I think you should be searching for the model which is, like, let's say you have a limited hardware, which is a small, and which will support the multiple languages. Right, there are so many such models available on the internet. Maybe you can go to Hugging Face, or maybe you can go to like Olama kind of frameworks and search for the best model. Right, and whether you're able to again, when it comes to costing or pricing, most of the companies, they look for open source model. Of course, every model, or maybe the different categories of the model, comes with its own bottleneck. Right, so when it comes to maybe the proprietary models, people think about the security, because you're calling an API, right, and you're using your company data, right, which is sensitive informations. So that's why, like, most of the companies, they have their own in-house models, or maybe they try to use the open source models. So that is one thing. So you basically think about what kind of data you have, okay, whether it's a sensitive data or not, and whether you really want to use an open source model or proprietary models. Always the proprietary models, the paid models, will be high in terms of costing. Right, they always charge in terms of token based exchanges. Right, otherwise, maybe considering these three important categories, you can definitely try out the different models and see to that, after your analysis, try to run those models on the benchmark data sets and see which would really perform well. Okay, so this is all, like, maybe the stochastic nature. There is no such hard and fast rule to say that this model have to use it for this task. But however, the companies have claimed that, okay, OpenAI today, they have released GPT 5.1. They say that it is really good over the other models. Sometimes even I have observed that GPT 4.0 would perform well over GPT 5 also in some task. We do not really know about it, because every AI model is always random in nature. Okay, that's why we really need to look in terms of your data, the models you use, do a comparative analysis, and take a call eventually. That's what I've done. I hope I answered your question. Right. So there are a lot of things beyond this. So maybe you can also do a little bit research on this topic also. Yeah. So coming to the final part of this, session, of course, when it comes to these models, right? Many companies claim that we could able to do a lot of things with the models, like you generate some text, audio, video, etc. Right? Translation, transliterations. There's so many such things you do it, right? Now, what is happening here? So many models are actually the multi-model models. So what does it mean? Multi-model, it understands, consider this GPT series only. They will understand your audio, video, any data that you pass. If you simply paste an image, it is able to explain you what is that image is all about, right? So if you simply paste an Excel sheet or maybe an upload, your Excel sheet is able to understand. It means that could be a structure, unstructured, semi-structured, maybe conventional speaking. So your models are able to understand. Therefore, most of the models nowadays, what we have are all multi-model models. Okay. And also what is happening nowadays, all these models are being integrated into the hardware, or maybe you can call it as deployment of all these LLMs to the physical devices. Now all of our mobile devices has got large language models running behind the scenes, right? That's what we need to understand. Maybe you could also develop mobile applications which would call LLM behind the scenes. And of course, there are so many things which comes into principle, right? Maybe the transparency, maybe like how well the model is able to understand the questions, how well the model is able to answer your questions. Basically, it's a reasoning part of your model, right? And eliminating the bias. To take an example, like there are white and black people, right? So most of the times the model used to bias towards the black people, right? This is actually speaking the racial discrimination. So we need to overcome this kind of problems. And of course, like I told you, like there are so many compliances that we'll have to follow when it comes to the large language model development. So we'll have to take all of this into account and come up with the large language model applications. Yeah, so that's what I was supposed to discuss today. Like from semantics to super intelligence, we tried understanding simple word relations, and then from word relations, we are trying to come up with many uh, kind of advanced kind of breakthroughs. Right, we were able to understand simple uh, word dependencies to generating some Ghibli images, right? Which was very much in trending, and nowadays, like AI is everywhere. AI is just augmenting everywhere, so it is helping humans in many ways, and we are trying to shape the tomorrow's future, right? So, anyways, there are a lot of opportunities in this field. Maybe you could do uh, maybe a thorough understanding of LLMs from scratch to the maybe the advanced level, and you could also try checking the agents part, which is also very much in trending. How agents are going to be used alongside large language models and build the more sophisticated, more powerful kind of AI applications, which would help in our day-to-day task. Right. So I think that's it uh, from my side. So thank you very much for patience in listening to me. Right. And this is all basic stuff what I had shown you. But there are a lot of things beyond this thing, these topics, guys. Okay. So I would definitely encourage you to read a lot of papers, uh, do some coding to explore a lot of stuff in this space. Okay. So thank you very much for giving me this chance to deliver this session. If you have any questions, so please feel free to ping me in the chat, or maybe you can unmute yourself and ask me anything related to the AI, machine learning, or maybe this NLP field. I'd be happy to answer your questions. Any questions? Are we all till now? Anyways, in the upcoming sessions, we'll have a deep understanding of all of this models. Once again, so thank you for the coordinator.
Any questions from audience? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ayman, sir. Thanks for your valuable suggestions regarding the LLMS and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
The next session will start at 8 o'clock.
ಮಳೆ ಬಿದ್ದಂಗ್ ಬೀಳ್ತೈತೆ. ಹಾ ಐಸ್